What is up, everybody? Sysadmin Sean here, and today we are doing the day 5 course in the Linux Upskill Challenge, and I believe probably we'll go ahead and do the day 6 as well. We'll combine two for this video because both of them are pretty short. Day 5 is essentially about the more and less command, and they don't mention this, at least I didn't see it, but I've always heard more is less and less is more, and that is that you'll use less as a command a lot more often than you'll use more as a command. The other thing they want to highlight is tab completion. And you've probably seen me screw this up a few times so far in this series. But essentially, if we wanted to do less/etc/serve and we hit tab, it's going to load that services. So that's less services. I like to do stuff like less etc auth, for instance, or var log auth. But we need sudo for that. We're just fine. That way I can kind of scroll through it without having to do a whole bunch. The other thing they want to show off is how to search your command history. I live by this. So for a long time, I didn't know how to do it. And I would literally go cat history. Do I not have a history file? Oh, bash history. Grep, whatever I was looking for, which is the worst possible way to do that. You can also just type your history command, but that's a whole lot, right? But if I do Control R, it's a reverse history search essentially. So if I say, maybe I wanted to remember what I was doing with push D, it'll start filling in the commands as I type what I remember was related to it. Or maybe if I'm like, what did I do with apt? Okay. And see, it doesn't have to be the beginning of the line. It just has to be something that's inside the line. Like I bet if I type barrel, yeah, it's going to give me the first or most recent barrel, and then you can basically dump that to your prompt. That works both. Again, these are double. More or less and Control R work in Ubuntu, Rel, pretty much every distro I know of. But that's it. That is day 5 right there. So in the extension for day 5, it says we're using bash, but there's also zsh, fish, or oh my zsh. You can do all those things if you want to. Bash is pretty much universal. If you're running in systems that aren't running bash, you're running some pretty specialized stuff, or at least some very highly configured stuff. I had to do zsh for a subset of users on machines that had bash with them. It's just a lot of their code expected zsh for the applications that they needed. So we had to deploy that shell for them and make sure that it came up. And another way you can do that is if you look at cat etc password, which we should be able to see, you will see here that my user loads bin bash. But if I wanted to switch shells, I could modify this. Maybe if I install zsh, it would be bin zsh in there instead of bin bash. And you can see other ones in here that say user sbin no login. That means that as a user that does not log in, they do not get a profile. They have a home directory sometimes, and sometimes they don't. But they don't log in. They have no login. And that's about it for day 5. So let's move on to day 6. Day 6 is about Vim. Vim is a controversial topic because there are so many editors out in the world. Etsy password, right? So that's VI Etsy password. And if I wanted to change something, I'd have to hit I, start typing stuff, and then hit escape so that I know that I'm done inserting, and then hit this, hit colon, and then Q to quit. If I wanted to do it in nano, I could just do sudo nano Etsy password and do the same thing, but I don't have to tell it I want to input. I get hotkeys telling me how to get there. A lot of people are more comfortable in nano, but as this lesson highlights, Vim is installed on pretty much everything by default, and sometimes it's hard to install a different editor. I've never had that problem. Anywhere I've needed to put nano, I can put nano. I know how to get around enough in Vim that I don't need to put nano on because I just don't use Vim. A lot of other people do. I think that's fine. It comes in every distro, like I said in here. You can edit files. They want you to do a whole lesson on Vim Tutor, which is a neat little, let's see if it's even installed on here. Yeah. Vim Tutor kind of gives you the ability to move around. So as you can see, like K, J, H, and L are how you move around. So let's see. K. We have to hit J. So J's moving us down. K moves us up. H and L moves us left and right. I don't know why they didn't use WASD, since everyone uses WASD for that. You can also use the arrow keys. Hold down J until it repeats. Look at that. So it's going to go through everything. Read this entire lesson, because the first thing it tells you to do is hit bang quit, or colon quit bang, and then you get out of there. Exclamation points have always been called bang in my circles. I'm pretty sure it's the same for everyone else. Because it's like colon quit bang, you're out. Use Vim Tutor, learn Vim, because it will help you out. Highly recommend it. There is information in here on setting aliases, in case you want to use one option. Simply hit VI for any of the Vim commands in the instructions below. So people made an alias that says Vim equals VI if you don't have VIM as a command installed. There is normal mode and insert mode. Insert mode is hitting I to add text. And then you can use WQ to save and then quit. But read that lesson. It's a really quick, short one. Not a whole lot I can really go over on here, because it's just text editing. There's really nothing to it. VI edit blah.text, right? Insert. I'm writing a file. Escape. Right, quit, bang. And there's blah.text. You know how else I could have done that? Nano. Blah2.text. I'm writing a file. Bang. I made both of those. Look, they're even the same size. I didn't realize I typed the exact same thing, so that's kind of cool. But that's it. The only one that's mentioned on here that I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually use, but I'm pretty sure it's out there in the wild quite a lot, is Pico. I use Nano. I don't think... Oh, Pico is on here. Oh, so Pico is Nano. Never used Pico as the way to get into Nano before. But there's also Emacs for people that really like to customize their text editors and do a whole lot of work that way. But that's it, and we'll see you in the next one at day 7.